long and slow, bringing you Bigfoot news, oh yeah. Watching in the woods, catching all the clues, oh yeah. Digging deep to bring you all the news. From sightings to footprints, it's all in the light. Stay tuned to Squatch-D, it's out of sight.
And greetings, cyberspace. Welcome to the Bigfoot News for today's date, June 28th, 2024. I'm your host, your guide, the Squatch Detective, Steve Kulls, along with my co-host right down there, Mr. Chris, the man, Bennett.
It's good to see you, bud. How you doing today?
Good.
I heard that you went to the skeleton adjuster today. How's that neck?
We're doing pretty good, actually. So
Good.
Neck is feeling a lot better.
That is good news.
Yeah, we didn't have a show last week just because it was a lot going on last week. This whole week has been nutty for me. And usually the last week of the month kind of goes crazy because, you know, when you're doing the stuff I'm doing, you're working on financials for next month and getting your everything ready to go. And it was just overwhelming. And so we do have that to say. But today is an interesting day, Chris.
Yeah. Every day is interesting when you think
about it. Now, mind you, we did not advertise this show tonight on Facebook or anywhere. We just did it on YouTube and
oh, well, got quite a few people in the chat. Hey, guys.
Yep. And that's why everybody's wandering in because everybody knows that we're here on. But anyway, June 28th, 1919, 125 years ago today, my father was born.
Oh, wow.
125.
Yeah.
And when you think about that, that's like mind-blowing.
Yeah.
That's,
it's amazing.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. 105 years. Pardon my French. 105 years, not 125. 105 years.
Yeah.
So just wow. And when you think about it, it's like how long is this generation stretched from my father to me? And you know what? I found out some very interesting things when I was doing ancestry. That my grandfather was born in. He was 35 when my father was born.
Yeah.
So if you go back 35 years minus 19, my grandfather was born in 1885, I believe.
Yeah.
So my grandfather is born, almost 140 years ago.
19th century. That's pretty cool.
Almost 140 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's mind-blowing. Unreal. But anyway, we have got quite the show in store for tonight. What's been new with you, Chris?
Oh, not a lot. Just been trying to get some stuff done. Had the washing machine tore apart again. And ended up messing up my back for a couple of days there because I was screwing that thing. But, it's either, take it apart and repair it or go buy a brand new one. And I'm a little bit too cheap to go buy a new one. So if I can fix what I got, that's what I'm going to do. Frugal. That's the word, frugal. I'm a little bit too frugal to buy a new one. So, yeah, we'll see if we can't repair the old one.
So, yeah. What can I say? I was going to make a joke, but I'm not going to make a joke.
Go ahead. Let me
no, because we don't do politics on this channel.
No.
But and that way we avoid stuff like this. But anyway, we do have. Let's do our roll call for the night.
Yeah.
And okay, first in chat tonight was Lance Windsor. Hello, Lance.
Yes. Good to see you, man.
Roy Langley, Sandra Piper. What's going on? Buttworm is in the house. Hello, Buttworm. Walter Kroll, good to see you, sir. Jen, what's going on? The bouncer in the house. John Mao Jr. in the house. And Angel Nolan, Jeff D.
Angel?
Smith,
Jeffy?
Little Roy, Little Kilroy quit.
Don't quit on us, Little Kilroy. Come on, man.
I don't think he is. He's having fun. And that's what we got in right now, the talkers. And, we see Roy. Roy, welcome. You're new to the chat, and greetings and welcome to the family. And we usually start with a little warm up like this for a few minutes, and then we get into business of the evening. And I'll tell you, we have 2 stories for tonight. Not we usually do 3 and take about 10 minutes or 20 minutes per thing, but
one of them
in lieu of
a video, yeah. So
in lieu of periods of rambling and name calling each other and dead silence, we will press on with the show. Gotta say, and for those who don't know, it's on the channel. I was on the Blonde and Booze, and it's BOOS, not BOOZE. Blondes and Booze podcast last night. I did about a couple hours with them last night.
Yeah.
And a lot of, we can talk about that a bit. A lot of good discussion.
Yeah.
And I don't know, a lot of times, and I got to I want to predicate this. This is by no mean a slam on the host of that show. But a lot of times, every once in a while, like people, don't use names. And everybody, for some reason, I only name drop on my own channel. Yeah. I'll take the heat. If I don't name drop when I go on other people's channels, it's not respectful.
Yeah.
Unless the host asks for it. As the host says, hey, you can say whatever you want, and in that case, then it's okay if I talk about this, but I'm not, I don't know why people necessarily think I go off the rails sometimes, because I don't. I only do that on my own channel, but when I've always behaved myself on other channels, except when it came to one person on another show when he was, belonged to an internet group, and that's how we knew all about a particular geographical area. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm that. Am I that, Chris? Am I that much of a fire starter?
No, I don't think so. I I mean, you do get a little passionate sometimes.
Yeah, but I mean, when I go on other shows, I always behave myself.
Yeah, I think you behave respectfully, and you don't go in there and start a fire. No.
I mean, here I take the tie off here. You know what I mean? I take the coat off, the tie off, and I'm able, because our audience is our audience, and I would give them no less of everything.
Well, yeah, this is
within
home.
reason. Within reason, yeah.
This is home. You can be, a little more the way you want to be at your home, and when you go somewhere else, you're on your best behavior.
And that's why. And I'll make another comment on comments. And for those who post comments, I appreciate all the great comments that you guys have been leaving. Thank you. I'm going to get back to this week and start, commenting back and replying to them. I took a little time off this week. Sometimes you need that just to clear your head and get focused. And the funny thing is the beginning of the week, I'm working on a new series for the channel. But as far as comments go, they are moderated because we do. Really? Good for you, Roy.
Yeah, and welcome to all our lurkers. We appreciate you guys. I do it too.
But I moderate the comments because there's just too many. Occasionally we get a wing-nutted comment, and I don't like people putting up false information on a comment.
Right. Or something.
And I've called people out. I'll look at it. Okay, if they've said it respectfully, but a lot of times when people want to argue, they get their keyboard muscles up and they start, you don't know this and you don't know. I'm sorry, you're not going to, because this is my members. Of course, I will post what you say ad hoc. Because you guys make this channel. The subscribers, same thing. But when I get flippant drive-by comments by people that are insulting to the audience, they're funny. And there's times I just want to beat back. And on the comments, um,
Track quiet. Killing me, man.
but so I let every once in a while I'll let an insulting comment go by, unless it's full of profanity. Then we delete it. So that's why sometimes,
Yeah.
and it's a rule. There's a rule. You know, they make a snarky comment. Okay, listen, we can talk about this. We can talk about this respectfully, without name calling, without any of that.
Well, with any YouTube channel, you're going to get the people that come in there that are a little bit trolly,
Right.
and
Yeah, sure.
that's understandable. But
Yeah.
as long as they're kind of respectful, that's fine.
Right, exactly. And some channels on YouTube, love that stuff.
Yeah.
They will. Yeah, they make videos on just the trolls. No, we're trying to run something that's educational and fun and family oriented for the most part.
Mhm.
PG-13 with an occasional slip to an R rating every once in a while.
Yeah,
but
we try to keep it family friendly. Robert.
Thank you, Robert. Welcome.
Last night, hearing the past paranormal stuff is good. Yeah, Robert, I noticed that too. It seemed like when Steve gets on a show somewhere, they always move him towards the paranormal stuff too. Which Steve, he's been a paranormal investigator, and that's what he does. He looks at mystery and tries to figure out what's causing this, what's doing that, and I can enjoy that too. I love mystery.
Right, and if you know what? I did forget one article for today. There is a new photo out from Loch Ness this week.
Bristol. There is.
There is. So we'll get that. We'll get that to you Sunday night. I just remembered that. I caught that. Not on. I get Bigfoot alerts, so I don't get the Loch Ness. And I happen to be scrolling on something, and it was one of the London newspapers that popped up in my feed that said something about a new one. I looked at it. Interesting. But yeah. So I always say this. Listen, I can't do this without the subscribers, and I can't do this without the members, and I'm not going to let them be subject to profanity and bad talk and false information, and people who want to disagree with me for the sake of disagreeing with. Hey, hello, good to see you. Welcome. We got all these new subscribers, and I want to welcome everybody to the channel too, because we have a lot of fun, and we've had a boom in subscribers lately, and that's awesome, and I appreciate all of you. But I don't want to expose our people to false information. One of the big things we like to do in this channel is tell the truth and get the truth out there. And sometimes, somebody will post false information in a comment or things that are not fact-based. And, like people come on, oh, I know Bigfoot cloaks. Well, what's your evidence for that? And then they digress into a name calling spat. So then their posts get deleted and they get banned from the channel from commenting. And that happens every so often. If I do an expose on somebody, like all of a sudden the girl, the woman that's in the county jail or in prison for the attempted murder. I'll give you another good example of that. And we'll get right. I got one comment from a woman saying, "You don't know the whole story. We don't hear her side of the story." I'm like, really? You know what? I'm not even going to post that, because you know what? A jury of 12 heard her story.
Yeah.
Right. Either that or she pled out and then she admitted to it. So,
yeah.
So listen, I'm not the judge. She's already been judged legally. So, and that's why, there was a couple of hits like that. And of course, they were from the Stanlings, Todd Standing's followers, which, for some reason, it's either him with a sock account or he's got some people that just defend him for no reason whatsoever. So I don't know. And you know what? If anybody smack talks me on another show or another channel, I don't want any of our members going after them. Just let me know. Give me a little nudge, and I will deal with it. Or I will send one of my minions to deal with it. But I don't need an audience to do that. I don't want them to get in trouble. I don't want them to get in the middle of something. Like our recent row with the guy from the UK, Mutt, who just decided to one day start nonchalantly attacking because he put out a hoax video. He hoaxed the video. So, with, you're a hoaxer. You just put yourself in my aim, my scopes. And that's what it is. So anyway, let's get on to the first story of the night. So this
Amen,
is
Jessica.
right. I
Sure to be
agree,
negative.
Jessica. I agree. It's just,
Yep.
and welcome, Jessica, by the way, as well. We see a lot of
So-
new names. This is awesome. So anyway, this one's near and dear to my heart. Of course, tonight's the Bigfoot news. So we do this show for an hour, and we do our 2-hour show with guests usually on Sundays, unless we have a really good juicy story or a deep dive we're doing. But tonight we're doing the Bigfoot news, and this story is near and dear to my heart. I just wish somebody had called me and told me that was going on. That was the only upsetting part to me. So nobody told me this was going on.
Oh, well, you should. Yeah, they should have called you up so you could have been there when the help them commemorate it.
I agree, but it is what it is. So this is written by Tim Binnall for Coast to Coast AM. I was just on Tim's podcast a couple of weeks ago too. We did, and I was also on the Bigfoot and More podcast with Dave Wilbanks. So he's out and about last weekend. So we're going to probably catch up with him and see how his stuff is going on.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But that was primarily talking about my new book, The Psychology of Bigfoot, A Guide to Understanding Bigfoot Claims, and which is doing very well in sales and will be offered for the first time in the general public at Logan, Ohio, at the Hocking Hills Bigfoot Conference and Festival. So anyway, this article again is by Tim Binnall, and it says an upstate New York town that has become somewhat synonymous with Sasquatch saw its connection to the creature celebrated with a newly unveiled historical marker that declares the community to be a Bigfoot sanctuary. The village of Whitehall was put on the proverbial cryptozoological map by way of a significant series of Sasquatch sightings that occurred there back in 1976. They actually started in 74 and extended into 1976. Just a little note on that. Coupled with longstanding Native American accounts of the creature as well as subsequent reported encounters with such bipedal beasts, the community has come to be considered proverbial Bigfoot country by many fans of the famed cryptid, which the town has embraced with a zeal in a myriad of ways. Thanks to the efforts of local researcher Paul Bartholomew, Whitehall passed an ordinance in 2004 that designated, imagine that, 20 years ago, that designated Bigfoot an endangered species and made it illegal to hunt the creature within the borders of the village. A few years later, the town passed another resolution that named Sasquatch their official animal. All the while, several statues as well as Bigfoot-themed businesses popped up throughout the community. The connection to the cryptid name into full bloom with the creation of the enormously popular Whitehall Sasquatch Festival and Calling Contest, which I MC the Calling Contest every year, which serves as a full-on celebration of the creature that has garnered national media attention thanks to the unique competition featuring participants unleashing their beast belly. Last week, Whitehall's admirable appreciation for the cryptid was recognized with the unveiling of a new historical marker from the Pomeroy Foundation. The organization aimed at preserving community history has previously produced similar plaques celebrating local legends and lore, such as purportedly haunted bridges in North Carolina and Lake Champlain's famed monster champ. The Whitehall marker, which was installed next to a Bigfoot statue near the town's grandstand, declares that the community is a Bigfoot sanctuary and reads, for centuries, local story tell of sightings of giant hairy beasts that walk upright and leave huge footprints. Local law protects them.
So it is illegal to shoot a Bigfoot in Whitehall.
Yes.
That's an ordinance. Wow.
Yep. So, yep. And that, the statue up there that you see to the left is a wooden chainsaw carved statue. I think it was placed there in 1994. It was last year. It had to be carted away and repaired because, age and rot was, it sits out in the elements and it's made of wood. I think they varnished it now, so it doesn't.
Well, it looks pretty human-like there.
Yeah. I mean, And the late sculptor Joaquim Dominguez was the sculptor of that, and he passed away several years ago, unfortunately. But what a great piece of work he did. You know,
Yeah. How in the world could anybody do that with a chainsaw? I mean, look at that.
yeah, I mean, just
Intricate
amazing.
detail along the face and the nose.
Yes, yep, absolutely. And that statue's been sitting there for years, and you know, so now they got the marker next to it, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And that is going to be very close to where my booth usually is, or my tent, I should say,
Well,
during the Whitehall Sasquatch Festival. I'm just to the right or to the left of the staircase, and that is just to the left of the staircase.
Well,
Going
make
up
sure you get a picture of you standing next to the new marker. That would be
absolutely,
good.
absolutely.
Next time you're in the area.
So as far as that's concerned, I think that's awesome. Any kind of
Jessica says, didn't New York State declare Bigfoot and Champ protected?
that's no. Unfortunately, New York State does not recognize Bigfoot as a creature. You talk to NCON and they will give you a glaring letter, as our former guest Peter, our prior guest, I should say, Peter Weimer found out when he wrote about possibly getting some legislation going to protect it. New York State wrote him back with a scathing letter that says such a creature does not exist in New York and likely anywhere else. Something similar to that. So yeah, that was really no bueno. But then again, I've had an NCON guy come up there, you know, when we were doing the Monster Quest, Kurt Koga, who made the brilliant statement of these things existed, people would be seeing them. People are seeing them.
Yeah, they do.
And they don't tell you guys because guess what? You laugh them out of the
Yep. Probably shouldn't tell anybody you saw Bigfoot.
So yeah, so that is a little bit how should I say it, bizarre that, you know, he would make a statement like that made no sense whatsoever. And like I say, you know, again, going back to confirmation biases, that's what they do. They're biased.
Right. And in Whitehall, one of the first witnesses was a police officer.
Yeah, well, not one of the first. He was the first public one.
Okay.
If you know the history of the area well, and the reason why he was out there was because people were seeing them on a regular basis. Started in 1974 with Cliff Sparks seeing one on I forget what hole, but seeing one on the you know, walking across the green while he was tending to the golf course late one night. His family had also been hearing these strange bellows that were coming from the forest. Now, mind you, Cliff Sparks is, you know, he passed away a number of years ago, but he wasn't a young guy. He'd lived there all his life, was a businessman in town, and knows that area. So he's like, something's wrong here. And then at the same time, people were reporting Bigfoot sightings all along A Bear Road, which is not a main road. It runs parallel to US Route 4, which goes into Vermont. But in
spring goes through mostly a wooded area there, doesn't it? But I remember looking at it on Google.
It goes through a wooded area. Going, you know, on one side, and on the other side, there's farmland.
Yeah.
And then the farmland, and then you'll see Route 4. You know, traveling parallel. But one other strange little note. I don't know if you've ever heard of the religious sect, the Seventh-day Adventists.
Yes.
That was founded right there on A Bear Road.
Wow.
Right.
Learned something today. Good.
So if you ever tell the recounting of this blew me away when I first found this out. In 18 something or other, I think it was 1886. As the story goes, the Seventh-day Adventists, you know, gathered in upstate New York to await the arrival of the second coming, and it didn't happen. Right, obviously. Where do you think they met? What field do you think they were in upstate New York? They were right there at the William Miller Chapel, which is the home of the Seventh-day Adventists. So, yep, just a stone throws away from all these Bigfoot sightings.
Wow. Now that's cool.
It's really a little piece of innocuous history, but there is historical markers all in that area too. Yeah. So,
Kaiju Ninja. Good to see you, man. We got
Hey,
some more
Nikki.
people coming
Oh,
in.
everybody's flying in now.
Jessica, yeah, everybody. Angel.
Well, I agree, Jessica. Just like there's no mountains in New York.
Yeah.
I myself am a firm believer that's kind of hokey too. I actually knew a retired police officer that was like, I was having coffee with another retired SWAT because again, if they, I know a lot of the retired cops because I used to be a medic in the city of Troy, a lot of back in the day, and so every once in a while I'll end up having coffee with a couple of the retired ones, and we were sitting around and we were relating a Bigfoot story, and he goes, you know what? And then one other cop who was there drinking coffee with us was like, yeah, you know what? I got my trail cam the other day, and he showed me this video, and it was a friggin' mountain lion, with cubs.
Yeah,
So,
but they always kick back on this thing. They say, "Oh well, there's no breeding population." Well, it don't matter. There's a freaking mountain lion there. Okay,
came from somewhere.
it may be the last one in the whole state, but it's there, right? It's there.
And maybe some knucklehead got one from an exotic pet store or a pet deal, and then it got loose on him, and now he can't say nothing because.
Yeah.
But the sightings of big cat mountain lion in New York is rampant, and there's a big difference. I mean, I've seen bobcat. Not for 1 second would I mix up a mountain lion with a bobcat. Yeah. Bobcat has that kind of has like a lynx type of face where it's kind of got bushy, pointy whiskers or fur, to its chins, and it looks like a diamond head. It's got a diamond head,
and the mountain lion's got a tail, like
right. Yeah. Right.
Definitely not a bobcat.
Right. Definitely not a bobcat. Excuse me. This bobcat prefers his formal name. It's a Robert cat.
Robert. Yeah, but they got into that around Mammoth Cave several years ago. They got some reports, and of course the director was saying, no, there's no mountain lions there. There's no mountain lions here. Until finally somebody that works at the main office came into his office wide-eyed and said, there's a mountain lion in the parking lot.
Nice.
There's a mountain lion in the parking lot. Okay.
Well, like I said, it's a weird day in the neighborhood for me. I'm pulling in today. One of my neighbors stops before he backs up. He goes, "Hey, just to let you know, be careful of the dogs. There's a rabid fox running around here. Saw him in the yard during the day. Its eyes it looked mangy, and eyes had conjunctivitis." And he looked at it. It was looking at him. He slapped the side of the door, and it just looked at him. He wasn't afraid of him. So he said, just be careful. Okay. We leash our dogs. We don't let our dogs out anyway. Even though we have a shepherd, we don't put them on leads and let them out. We just walk them out. They're house dogs, especially the lazy one over here, the assistant. He's guarding that chair very, very diligently right now.
Be careful with the small one. The big one could probably take care of itself, but got to watch out for Watson.
Well, luckily they both had their rabies shots, but
never a good thing to have a rabid animal in the area,
well,
or even potentially rabid. Yeah.
The problem is you get one rabid animal, and they tend to get other animals infected too.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
So we'll see what happens. It's not the first time I've heard it's happened here. First time since I've lived here, and of course I'm going on my second year here. So.
Hey.
Jay also said he's going to retire from aging. He's tired of getting old. He's going to retire from aging. I hear you.
I'd like to try that too, but I'd like to try that.
Okay, are we ready for our next story, Chris?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to put this up here just so nobody gets a smart idea to go ahead and try to copyright strike this. It's actually the channel that originally ran it was a channel that does not really have a great reputation amongst legitimate researchers, and it's the Sonny Vader channel. But the thing is, it's not his video.
This video was also posted at 93.7 The Dog or something. So
right, 93.7 The Dog, and this story came out yesterday. It says one of the world's best mysteries is the elusive creature we call Bigfoot, and now an oil field worker thinks he may have captured the creature on camera. A video on YouTube shows an oil field worker checking on equipment in the snow, and his visit to a site is all documented by a dash cam that was mounted on his work truck.
Smart.
Well, as he drives away from the site he visited, you see a dark figure standing in the woods, well covered in snow. According to the video, which you can see below, which you're going to see in a second, part of it,
Yeah.
the worker never noticed it until he went home. He went back to review the footage he captured.
Oh.
Note: was Bigfoot near the man while he was walking in the snow, or was this just a dead spot in the woods? Check out the footage from the dash cam and let us know what you think. Well, we're going to let you know what you think right here on the show.
Yeah.
Let me mention here that it is believed Bigfoot may have been spotted in another area not too far from here. In a previous sighting, the creature was reportedly holding a juvenile Sasquatch at that time. The footage was shot near Nordegg or Alberta. So,
Canada,
yeah. You know who's neck of the woods.
Yeah. That's up there around Leon, isn't it?
Leon and Justin Sherpensky from Mountain Beast Mysteries.
Yeah, Justin. Yeah, that's right.
And Todd Stanley. Anyway, but anyway, let's take a look at this video, and let me just predicate this real quick. Again, it's on a channel that's had a lot of questionable activity on it over the years. Is this a Bigfoot video? I don't know. It has some pros and some cons. Fact is that the guy did give all the information out. So, I mean, there's no, and I'm not going to get into the deep information because this is really such a quick video. It doesn't take this big, huge dive into it. Yeah. But what I do find strange is this. Why would you review your dash cam video?
Well, you know, it could be a work thing. It could be a work thing. Yeah. He's an oil field worker, so it could be a work thing. No joke.
I don't know. Well, maybe he's trying to prove it, but it just seems weird. It's such a quick move that I don't know. I just don't know. I have a problem with that, but maybe not. Maybe you're right. Like I said, this is not certain. That's my one suspicion about that. It's not a tell-all. It's not a smoking gun. Right. It's just so let's get on to the video, and here it is.
Yeah. Let's watch this.
Okay, don't blink. Yep. Now, again, we'll show it one more time. So you'll see it right coming into view right there, allegedly. And here it is in slow motion. And you'll see it right into view from the left, right about there it is, right there. And it's going off to the right.
It's a pretty dark spot there in the woods. It is.
It definitely is. So I don't know what to think. Let's take a look at, some quick work I did with it. I captured a still of it, and I basically enhanced the color a bit, lightened it up a little bit. And let's see. So that's what we have right there.
Don says tree.
I tend to see, here's the issue with this. There is a branch that's in front of it. But what I have a problem is did the Sasquatch just stand there and let all that snow get on top of his head without moving?
No.
I
wouldn't think so.
No. So to me, there is no movement. There is snow on top of this item. And it looks like there's, an inch, at least an inch or two on the head. Yeah. Well, allegedly, what's the head? So to me, it looks like it could be a stump. It could be a.
One of the things that of course, once we're looking at this, you got to be careful not to let pareidolia have its way with you. But you can see an arm there. You can see some muscular tone around a leg going down if you're looking at it that way. But also the thing that it's holding in its arms appears to be flat. If it was a young one in its arms, the top of the head looks like flat. That
Maybe
looks
it's not
more
a
like
young
a
one.
chainsaw cut.
Maybe it's not a young one. And that does look like a chainsaw cut. You're right.
Yeah.
But what I find interesting is you have snow on the ground, right?
Yes.
Look where the feet are.
Can't
Now,
see
one
it.
would think, why is there not snow kind of built up on it?
Well, you really can't see the feet though, Steve. I mean, we're probably looking at around a foot or so off the ground, or maybe more. Can't really see it.
Yeah, you're right.
Branch in the way.
Right. It could be a branch. You're right. You're exactly right. And you see, that's how the mind plays it, right? Now I see what you're saying. Yes, it's in front, right?
This is a good question from OPR 357.
Exactly.
Yes, I would be walking around with snow on its head.
That's my thoughts exactly. That's my thoughts exactly. And I'm going to tell you, this is not a new video. This video came out 4 years ago, but they're just running it today or yesterday.
Yeah,
Which just goes to show you that you can Google alerts on new Bigfoot news, and it is so corrupted with old stuff or reporters that have nothing better to do. There's no running stories for the day. Let's pull up a Bigfoot story. Oh yeah, they did this, and oh yeah. And they failed to mention that this was from 4 years ago. In fact, what did the article say?
Snow person. That's good.
Like, and now an oil worker thinks, oh, it's not now. About 4 years ago, it was now.
And 4 years ago. Well, yeah, I would, if there had been something to it, he would have went back and done a
right.
Follow up,
These guys do not do. I mean, they are such. Let me say this. These guys, 90% of your journalists are frauds on the internet. Are frauds. The reason why? I'll tell you why. Because I just took a journalism course. Right? Where's the cross-checking? How did they miss that this was a 40-year-old video? The video almost has 1 million views on it already. How did they miss that? Why? Because you're just looking for content, just like the phony Bigfoot channels that repeat posting all the old Bigfoot videos.
Gotta find something to write about today. That's it.
Right. So let's just repost something that's innocuous. Doesn't matter if it was 10 years ago, 12 years, if it's on there and we can show a neat picture or give us a link, we're good to go. And it's content. Yeah. And, because the advertisers on the page, they get the moolah for it.
Yeah. But, it does look good. Okay. You can get to looking at this and start picking out features like, well, I can definitely see an arm there, but, without a follow-up visit.
Right.
I think.
And Kaiser Ninja, I agree, but you know what? Anybody that snipes videos like that channel or the channel we dealt with a few months ago, they love sniping videos off of people. And then they have the nerve. One channel has the nerve to claim a copyright on it, even though it's not their video. So, hey, just because you report on it first
doesn't make it yours. That's right.
Very much could be weighted down. Evergreen, absolutely. My takeaway from it's this, does Bigfoot walk around with 3 inches of snow on his head? Maybe even more? No.
I wouldn't think so. Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
And on its shoulders, and because you can see white on white, and you can even tell if that was a fluid leg, right? Why is there snow on the leg?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So case closed.
Yeah, this is the case of a stump in the woods, more than likely.
But these channels that snipe videos, eventually they're going to snipe a good one. And they'll claim, and everybody will go to their channel and watch it. But that's the reason why they do it. They don't care about accuracy. They don't care about, and they're hand in hand with these no talent journalists that write these flyby stories without doing any, like literally, oh, this is interesting, but I got my story done in 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they're done for the day.
I've done more work on this video in 20 minutes than he did on 10 minutes. I took the video, we chopped it up, we rendered it, we put it out there. We got the photo spread out here, put it on a slideshow. I've read the story, done more than this journal has done. So what? And the thing is they don't care. They don't care about being accurate. You know how many journalists I have written correcting them on dates, times.
And Trackway says, though animals with great insulation can walk for days with snow on their back. You know, that's true. But the problem, though, with primates and with humans, don't know for sure if Bigfoot's the same way, but this is where we release most of our heat from the very top of our head. So that's why you probably won't.
Well, here's the other thing. How can you explain the snow on the shoulders and snow on the hips or on the thigh?
Yeah, on the thigh.
You can't. It's moving around. It's moving. And
but that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. You know, if I had been out there and got this on video, I would have went back like the next day.
Right. Yeah.
Got to see what is it? Is it still there?
Take some reference pictures, etc.
Yeah, right.
So
and if it's still there, okay, solved.
Yeah, and I don't believe for a minute, and I know Timberline can't. Welcome, Timberline. Says it's a goof in a suit. No, it's not a suit. That's a stump, or that's a weighted down fir tree, or because the snow buildup on it. I mean, if it was a goof in a suit, there would have been no snow on the top of it.
Yeah, it's been sitting there a while. Yeah. Trackway says there's 2 videos of the same thing at different times of the year. Okay. Yeah. That would
there you go.
Yeah. Kaiju Ninja. Okay. Yeah. Actually a follow-up on Sonny's channel. I'll check that out. So that's the thing. If you see something like this, or you get a video or a picture,
rock formation. Exactly. There you go.
Follow up.
There you go. See, and you guys can do it.
Exactly.
Well,
everybody's already busted this one.
Now, see, the other thing is supposedly May 30th, 2024. For what video? Because the video link that the show put up actually says, I got it right here.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, 4 years ago, 900. Watch this.
Don't bring it up. Don't bring it up. No. Okay, there you go. Clip. There you go.
4 years ago. So this video is not, even though the new maybe
983,000 views.
Wow. You know what happened, Chris? I wonder if the guy saw the new video, right? Because it says it was posted May of 2024 or whatever, right? I wonder if he saw the new video and got the dates confused. Possible.
Try to give him the benefit. I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, you know. But more likely, this is probably a case where a guy wanted to get done with his work day in about 10 minutes and then go do something else, head off to the pub or ball game, whatever guys do.
I do not know, but what I do know is that the thing is, OPR 357 is that once it gets uploaded to, say, social media,
anytime somebody cites a copy, it changes the metadata.
Right. It changes the metadata. That's why when witnesses come to me and try to PM me their Bigfoot photos on Facebook, right, through Facebook Messenger, or they're posting it, I always ask them to send it to me via email, and I want the original file. I don't want something that's been cropped. I don't want something that's been lightened or edited. I want the original file. Send it to my email. And you would, yep, that's Stumpity Squatch.
I remember.
So you would not believe the number of people that want to send me a picture on Facebook of a Bigfoot, an alleged Bigfoot, but never follow up and send me the picture on email. And there's a couple of reasons why. Number one is that they're trying to hide the metadata, because it's well known to the hoaxers now that, you put it on Facebook, the metadata is scrubbed. The only thing you'll get is the time and date it was uploaded to Facebook. Number two is if you take a screen capture of somebody else's Bigfoot picture and put it up on Facebook and say it's your own, you obviously can't email it to somebody, can you? No. That's number two. And that's usually, but if you want validation, you want vindication, you want somebody to investigate it, then you would send, and you're truly wanting that, and you take a legitimate photo, guess what you're going to do? You're going to email me that photo.
Yeah.
Now, I've had a couple of guys over years that I don't think they were, I've got mail. Thank you. I will.
I remember I sent Steve a video one time, and he contacted me and said, "Hey, why is this dated 1981?" I said, "I have no idea." I took this on the 6th of March or whatever, 2010. I have no idea. And I got to looking, my Jazzy camcorder, okay, every time if you take the batteries out and put new batteries in, you had to go through and physically set up the date like on a VCR, okay? And I never did do that. So every video I made with that little Jazzy camcorder always said 1981 or something like that. You remember what I'm talking about, Steve? I can't remember. It was just whatever date the chips had on it, 1981.
So I'm looking at this other. I gotcha.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. You know what? Maybe we'll take a look at that for the evidence review next week. Not the same. It's not the same.
Can't wait to see that. But you got to admit, it does look interesting for a stump squatch.
Yeah, well, now it's looking like, if I'm getting this right, this is a to me, it looks like a stump. It doesn't look like a Bigfoot, and even if it's a guy in a suit or a stump, it doesn't matter. It's not real, and that's the important thing. We can agree it's not real. Yeah. The minutia to it is really irrelevant at this point, I would say. It's kind of like the guy who robs the store. He robbed it for a good reason or a bad reason. It's really moot. He robbed the store. So that's the way I'm kind of looking at this.
Anita's got a good point here, too. She says, I bet it's discouraging for new folks coming into Sasquatch Arena to watch some places only to soon find out hoaxing or misinformation. And a lot of that stuff, a lot of the old stuff gets refurbished. What's old is new again, it seems like.
Right. And, the sad thing about it is that, people that are really jazzed about the Bigfoot mystery, a lot of times we'll turn a channel like this away because we're reporting hoaxes and we're showing people hoaxes, right? Because the real stuff is so far and few between. But yeah, you're right. That channel that we're talking about, Timberline, is a no bueno. What a coincidence. There's a lot of other channels with dash cams in it. So let me dig into that, perhaps for an expose, because now it is on my radar. And I know Brent over at the Tall Ones did stuff on the same channel a little bit ago. So I'm going to try to dig and see if I can't find, come at it from another angle, which is usually what I do. So, did it really come from a guy in, well, you know what? We're going to check some things out. We're going to bust open the books here and see if we can't, get down to the nitty gritty on that. I think that would be a fun expose, either for a long form video, or maybe we'll do it live. I don't know yet. We'll see what happens. But
that would be fun.
Man.
Yeah, Gary.
Yeah, no.
One has face-to-face encounter, one will see where no others will.
And you know why that is, Gary? It's called post-traumatic stress disorder. They see one for real and it takes them. Now they see him everywhere. So understand that. And PTSD affects people differently. Some people will go out and buy 10,000 trail cams and look for it. Every movement, every sound becomes Bigfoot. Or people will start seeing them in pictures everywhere or videos everywhere. There is no Bigfoot in that video. None. Zip. Null. The channel is known to put out phony videos, Gary. So just hang in there, buddy. I appreciate you coming here every week and being a great subscriber to the channel. But I would love for you to just open your eyes on that this, you're wrong, people, because they see one means, all of a sudden they have a special connection. No. Again, that's part of anthropocentrism. That's also trying to come to grips with seeing one.
Well,
maybe I'm special.
There's another point. You got to consider, though, Steve.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Once you see a creature, you see these creatures, and you know that they're in the woods, and you start to learn their tricks, your perception of the woods will change. If you see a little movement out of the corner of your eye, before you saw a creature, you'll just ignore. You'll maybe glance over. What was that? I didn't see.
But Chris, the thing is if you spend enough time in the woods,
right,
you will have the same perception.
Yeah.
And you will see other things, not just Bigfoot. In fact, most of the time you don't see Bigfoot at all.
Yeah.
I've done that. I've sat and I've watched and there's a chipmunk. Oh, there's a field mouse.
Right.
Oh, and you're sitting there. I mean, you don't have to see a Bigfoot to understand that.
Right.
But like I said, that if you're seeing Bigfoot in all these pictures, it's time to take a step back, take a deep breath, and reevaluate.
Yeah.
Because
Bigfoot on the brain. Right. And it's not anything bad, but it's something you got to learn to deal with because it's traumatic.
It's a traumatic thing going on, and understand that why do I see Bigfoot in all these pictures and nobody else does? Why do I go out in the woods and I see Bigfoot everywhere but nobody else does? It's not because you have a special power. It's not because you've seen one. Well, it's actually because you have seen one, because you're encountering this PTSD. And if you read the book Psychology of Bigfoot, you will understand that. And what you need to do is, truthfully, a person needs to sit down, talk to a therapist. They won't make fun of you. You will say, listen, I've seen a Bigfoot on this day. And since then, I have seen Bigfoot everywhere. And then they will talk to you and try to get you to, get that out of you and figure out what's going on. I've seen that with people in other fields too. They see a ghost and then they're seeing ghosts everywhere. They see a UFO and then they're seeing UFOs everywhere. Right.
Well, yeah, but I think, that perception thing has something to do with it.
Yeah. I mean, OPR is right. Same thing when encountering bears in the woods. Yeah. Every little rustle, you see a bear, and now you're you're paranoid. You're like, oh, I hope that's not another bear. And what was that bear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I learned when I had a few encounters back in 2010, I learned that if you spot a little movement out of the corner of your eye and you look over and you don't see anything right away, that doesn't mean you look away and just say, well, it must have been nothing. No,
Right.
you study that area
Right.
closely.
Right.
And you look for telltale signs of a leg or a head,
Right.
and then, pay attention.
I mean, Gary, you said you've seen Bigfoot 4 times. That's possible. It's not a crazy amount. It's not ridiculous. I mean, I had one guy, the whole nowhere argument. And then when I said, well, I've seen 2 of them over my course of 25 years. Well, unless you've seen 37 of them, I'm like, oh, one of those. You've seen them 37 times. You best be coming back with evidence. 4 times, I understand.
Yeah, if you've seen 37 of them, you might know that they do exist, but that's about all you know, unless you've been doing some really good observation and behavior studies.
Well, I've probably seen over 1 million cars in my day with all my travels.
Yeah.
And flights and stuff like that, but I still don't know how to
rebuild it.
I don't know how to build the transmission no more.
Exactly. Cars exist.
Right. And
that's
Gary, don't get mad. You're in caps. Okay, you've seen 4. That's excellent. I'm not saying that you haven't.
Yeah, that's great, man.
I'm actually saying that's possible.
Yeah.
But when you're saying you have, 38 times, 39 times, and you don't have anything in the...
that was the other guy, Steve.
Right, yeah. Right. And that's what I'm explaining. The other guy had like 37, 38. And if you don't have anything in the pocket to prove that, you're just a tall tale teller. I'm sorry. Or you have a problem where you're seeing Bigfoot everywhere.
Yeah. The other guy.
Not the other guy. Not you, Gary.
Not you, Gary. But, yeah.
But what a great discussion we had, off of that one.
Always.
One thing. And guess what time it is? It's 9:57 already.
All right. Already. Trackway said field mice are fun on thermal.
They are.
I've seen that jumping around, look like hopping. Wow, what is that?
They're even fun on trail camera. I got a couple. I got one on a trail camera a couple of times.
And did you put that bat video on the channel where when we were down on Green River? And you had is it still on the channel?
I don't know. I'll have to check.
Well, anyway, it was pitch black, and Steve had these night vision.
I can actually. I do. It's in our very early one of our earlier videos we did.
It was when
I was testing the night owl.
That
thing,
night vision binocular. Yeah,
I was showing. Yeah,
those were cool. Now it's not thermal, but it's night vision, so it's just like green, but you can see. Now, when we were down there, it was pitch black. Okay.
Right.
And Steve was looking through the binoculars, the night vision binoculars, and he caught a bat flying back and forth over the river. It was like, wow.
He was getting his dinner and all the mosquitoes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Some skeeters.
He was just swooping and swooping.
Yeah.
All right, time for a dumb joke.
Lay it on me.
How can you tell when a moth farts?
How?
It flies straight.
Oh, okay.
All right, dumb joke.
Okay. That was at least 3rd grade level there. That was pretty good. Pretty good.
I'm trying.
Oh, man. Okay, I think I've had enough.
We get back to the... well, now we're here. So anyway, and I know there's a bunch of kids that watch this show right now that are laughing their asses off.
Yeah.
But anyway, folks, we will catch you here Sunday night, a couple of days from now. Everybody be safe. I got a fun night. I am going to a retirement party tomorrow.
Right.
And I'm actually meeting up with our good buddy in chat, Pat Collins.
All right, Pat. Good.
Yeah. So Pat has a good friend that one of his best friends lives 3 doors down from me.
Mm-hmm.
So we end up chit-chatting now every once in a while too. So it is
Very cool.
So,
Small world, you know.
Yeah.
It is.
Yep. And that the bird clock means it's 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And
Thanks
that means
everybody for
we're outta
hanging out
here.
with us. We appreciate
Everybody,
you.
have a good weekend, and we'll have the 4th of July show this Sunday right here on SquatchdTV. Everybody, be safe, stay healthy, God bless. We'll catch you all in a couple of days.
We thank you for being here with us on Squatch-D TV. If you haven't taken the time yet, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And oh yes, hit that notification bell too. We don't want you to miss anything. If you really like our content, you should consider becoming a member, and it's really inexpensive and a great way to support not only the show, but honest Bigfoot research. Everyone have a great week. Be safe and God bless. We will see you all here next time on Squatch-D TV. Keep on squatching.